All right, what's going on, guys? Johnny on the track back here with another video. Martinsville for the final race before the championship 4 race in Phoenix. 500 miles. The Xfinity 500 should be. I expect it to be a great race, even though short tracks kind of left a little bit to be desired. But I think overall, if you look at what this race means, how tight the playoffs are right now. Only one guy locked in, Logano. Highest person in points right now is that is not locked in. Ross Chastain, he's plus 19. Even that at a track like Martinsville with the aggression levels being as high as I think they will be. Nobody is locked in. Nobody is safe except Logano. This will be an all-out war, a battle for 500 miles. I expect track position, pit stops to be huge and key throughout the duration of this race. I think you're going to need to get to the front. You're going to have to do it quick. I expect a lot of beating and banging. Those playoff guys are going to waste no time to get up front. Qualifying is going to be huge because, if you're a fast car and you have a good qualifying effort, you're a playoff guy, you start 4th, 5th, that's going to be huge. That track position is going to be huge for those early stage points that you be able to make up, and you can make up ground quick. So, real quick, let's just go back to last week. Maybe the most upset I have been betting this year in NASCAR. And I know we've had, not the best month recently, but man, I mean, Truex, the big bet, the bet that I really thought was going to hit throughout that race, even with Larson dominating. I saw how good Truex was. I just thought with everything that we've seen at Miami with Larson, I just felt that it wasn't going to happen. Even it was a full domination for stage 1 and 2. I felt in my heart of hearts it's going to be the same thing. Larson somehow is not going to get it done, and it looked like that was going to be the case. Truex was out in front with like 20 to go, and I'm thinking, I think Truex has got this. I don't think Larson runs him down. I feel like Truex is locked in and wants this win. Sure enough, a spin by a guy that we were so high on and the whole betting community was high on, Tyler Reddick, bunches them up. Pit lane fiasco with Larson and Truex. I don't know who was at fault. Definitely, I don't think it was full on Larson. Larson did have a lot to do with it. I mean, he did, plow right into him. But Truex, you got to be smart there. You're the first guy to pit. So you can go whenever you want. And quite frankly, Truex missed his pit stop. He was going to, or sorry, his pit box. He was going to miss his pit box. So he went out late. And, there's nothing really in that instance Larson could do. Maybe he could see and try to hit the brakes a little bit, but, you can't blame him. It was just both guys not understanding the situation, I guess, well enough. But it killed us. It killed us. We needed that race to go green. And if it had gone green, as crazy as it sounds with how good Larson was all race, I think Truex gets it done. It was a 2-second lead, 20 to go. Truex had the clean air. Yes, Larson was coming. They were going to have to deal with lap traffic. It was going to be tough to pass. And then on top of that, you saw how quickly Truex has the bad pit stop. I think he probably restarts like around 15th. He drives right up back to 6th. He drove angry and aggressive. And I think that's how he would have driven if he were battling Larson there late. So just an absolute heartbreaker. That one really killed me. I didn't have a good week. NFL bets, the Patriots. I'm a Pats fan. It all sucked last week. But it's a new week. It's a new race. It's probably, besides next weekend, the biggest race of the year for most of the field here. Guys that, are on the cusp of getting a win can absolutely get it done at Martinsville. And then, like like we said, I mean, it's going to be an all-out battle to see who gets a shot with Joey Logano to run for a championship at Phoenix. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I feel like I've already made this a little longer than it should be, but that's okay. Um, so I got a paper today. You can't see it, but usually I have it all on my computer. I have a good amount on my computer, but I don't know. I was just really writing a lot down, and short tracks are interesting because if you look back at the data that we have, a lot of different teams have showed speed at these short tracks. So I separated it into three categories: should win, could win, and might win. So the data I looked at: Bristol, Martinsville, Richmond, which is a little longer, but is a shorter track. New Hampshire, same thing, a mile, but acts as a short track, and all the way back to the Busch Clash. So if we go race by race, the Busch Clash, if you remember, Logano beat Kyle Busch. Way back, battled for a while, a lot of bump and runs, but those two cars were the dominant cars. You go to Martinsville, Byron beat out Logano, who was fast again. Logano finished second. Elliott was fast most of the race. I think he ended up winning stage 1 and 2, but Byron ended up winning that. Stewart-Haas Racing was fast during that race, so keep that in mind. New Hampshire, Christopher Bell, a Toyota, the first Toyota to win at these shorter track. He beat Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott running up front first for most of that final stage, and Christopher Bell caught him, took the lead, and from there, that was the end of it. So Bell beat out Elliott. Toyota was fast that day, and two Fords that stood out: Kevin Harvick and Brad Keselowski. Another two names that I want you to keep in mind. Richmond, Harvick won. Again, Harvick's name came up twice in a row now. That's interesting. Actually, three times, because Martinsville, Stewart-Haas was fast. Harvick beat out Bell, another name that we've seen a couple times. In RFK, again, same thing. We've heard them a couple times, me saying this stuff. RFK was fast. I think Buescher finished third in that race. And then Bristol, RFK wins. Chris Buescher wins. They were fast. He beat out the Hendrick cars, all the Hendrick cars. They were, I think all four of them finished top 10. And Christopher Bell was fast. Again, a name that continues to come up. So now let's go to what I have. Should win, could win, might win. Should win. The way I look at this, and sorry, I'm kind of going all over the place, but follow with me, follow along. It'll get somewhere. So the way I look at this is it's wide open, but it seems like, the teams that started to show speed built on it throughout the duration of the season for these short tracks. So should win. And I look at this race, I feel like it's going to come down to, I think, probably a clutch win. Somebody like Chase Elliott did in his championship season. Somebody's going to win, come up clutch, and get locked in. That either is right around the cusp, maybe has the points in favor, maybe needs a win, but it's going to be a win by a playoff driver. That is what I'm thinking. But even with that, I still have some bets that don't, are not aligned fully with that. So should win the category: Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney, believe it or not. And that kind of goes along with, I've seen Ford pretty fast at these tracks. And just, I feel like, clutch win. He fits in. And William Byron. So those are the five I have for should win. The two I'm eliminating from that category are Ryan Blaney. I just feel like Blaney, I know I said a couple weeks ago that I feel like I started to see the speed with him. But I don't know. There hasn't really been a race, regardless, all-star race was the all-star race, but any of the other races, I don't know. I haven't seen enough of him running up front, being up front, dominating a race this year and getting it done. I haven't seen that with him. So I'm eliminating him from that category. Just X his name out. I'm not going to be betting on Blaney. William Byron, another guy. I just don't think he has it this year. I don't think he's clutch enough to get it done this year. Now, I have a lot of high hopes for Byron. I think in the future, I think he's a guy that Hendrick wants to build around. I think he's going to continue to get better, but I don't think it's his year for the championship four. I don't think he gets it done with a win. Could win. Truex, Kyle Busch, Keselowski, Briscoe, Harvick. Those are my five guys in the could win category. Truex, I like him. I like him a lot. I feel like that, Martinsville is really his playground. So I like that bet. I think that's a pretty good bet. Kyle Busch, I really like this one. And he is running I got the shirt on right here. The final time M&M's and Mars will be a part of NASCAR. So I think there's some added motivation for Kyle Busch. Keselowski, love that. He's been on a roll recently. Overall, Ford and RFK have been very fast at these short tracks. Going to keep his name. Briscoe, Harvick, the two SHR drivers, I'm going to take them out. I don't think Harvick gets it done this weekend. And Briscoe, again, same thing. I don't know, but it's the Byron thing. I don't think he's clutch enough yet to get it done. I like Briscoe a lot. I think next year he's going to take a big leap and be that kind of big force next year for SHR, but taking those guys out. And then the might win category, I have Austin Dillon, Eric Almirola, and Custer. And basically, the might win is just, I feel like these guys will run well, top tens. So those are the categories I had with the guys, put in each category. Now I'm going to take you to my bets, and they come a lot from these categories. So my winners, I went with this weekend, Chase Elliott plus 650. I just think the speed he has had at these sort of tracks, hasn't won one of these. He's due. He's due to do it. And he's only 9 points right now above the cut line. So this might come down to him needing to win. So I love Chase Elliott plus 650 for that bet. Another winner, Hamlin plus 700. Same thing. I didn't mention his name in any of those past races I've gone through, but he's been right there running well. So he's a guy that I look at. Again, he showed, obviously not in the championship, but in this round that he can get it done and move to the next round. He's been fast enough. He's won a good amount of races this year to get it done. I like the speed of that team, and I think he can definitely get into victory lane and lock himself in. Christopher Bell, again, his name just comes up on all these past races, and I said this last weekend. I said it the week before. If you believe in Christopher Bell like I do, I think he is that guy. I think he is that dude for JGR for years to come. I have super high hopes for him this year and just in the future. And this is his shot, right? He is way below the cut line. I don't think points are going to do it for Christopher Bell. I think it's going to be that much needed clutch win. He did it at the Roval. Can he do it at Martinsville? I'd love to see that happen because I'm a big Bell guy. KFB plus 1,500 final race for M&Ms. I think there's added motivation. And I look at it like this, right? Who are some guys that you can think of that don't give a damn about, the really the playoff implications, right? Like if Elliott's coming hard, to the back bumper, trying to get up there on Kyle Busch, does he let him have that spot, right? Maybe one of those lower guys down in the standings don't have a win this year, just kind of going about their business. Maybe they let Elliott get that spot a little easier. I don't think that's going to be Kyle Busch. I think he's going to have so much motivation to have one last memory with JGR, last memory with M&Ms. I would not be surprised if Kyle Busch gets it done this weekend. Plus 1,500. That's a great number for Kyle Busch, especially at a short track. And then my final winner bet, I don't know. I don't love it because we saw how heartbreaking it was just last Sunday, but Truex at plus 1,000. It's his playground. I think he's going to be motivated for the crap that he had to deal with last weekend. Toyota has shown speed at these tracks. He's shown speed at these shorter tracks. He has it in him to get it done. And like I think it's a pissed off Truex, which you don't find much, you don't see it much, but I think we're going to see it this Sunday. So there's Truex. My top fives: Brad Keselowski plus 400. Again, Roush Fenway Keselowski has shown huge steps throughout the duration of the season. And they're the most recent winners on a short track. And again, when I went through that list of past races, it seemed like I was constantly bringing up Keselowski's name. Well, there's a reason, because he was fast at all those tracks. Plus 400, great number to get that at. Custer, I got a top 5 plus 1200. I like him at a top 10 as well, plus 350. He was bet of the year, if you remember, at Bristol. If you just look at the numbers, he easily runs top 10 at all these sort of shorter tracks. He's a good bet. He's a good guy to lean on. And I think if you want, quick money and you're looking for I don't know, not an easy bet, but a good solid bet that can make you some quick money. That's not a winner. You're not taking the winner chance. Top 10 for Custer or top 5 for Custer. Pretty solid numbers. And then 2 top 10s, Austin Dillon plus 150. I think he finished third at the first Martinsville race. Yeah, he did. And he drove from the back, drove up pretty quickly to get there, had a great run. Coming off a great run last weekend, top 10 plus 150. I like that for Austin Dillon. And then Almirola, top 10 plus 140. Again, fast at New Hampshire, fast at Martinsville, led some laps at Richmond, was fastest in practice at Richmond. So Almirola, he's like the Custard thing. If you just look at the numbers, this is a bet that should hit. I feel pretty confident with all these bets, but again, I mean, I felt confident going in with 20 laps to go when Truex was in the lead, and look what happened there. But I feel like it's going to come down to one of these guys, Elliott, Hamlin, and Bell. Sure, I've got the bets on Kyle Busch and Truex, but I think one of those 3 guys, Elliott, Hamlin, Bell, they're going to get a clutch win and move themselves, not deal with the points, just move themselves right into the final 4 to run for a championship. So we'll go through them real quick one more time. Elliott plus 650, Hamlin plus 700, Bell plus 1200, Kyle Busch plus 1500, and Truex plus 1000 to win. Top 5, Keselowski plus 400, Custer plus 1200 for the top 5, plus 350 for the top 10. And then to round out top 10s, Almirola plus 140 and Austin Dillon plus 150. Here we go. Shot to lock yourselves into the championship 4. Who's going to come up clutch? Who's going to come up big? I think it's going to be either Elliott, Hamlin, or Bell. And if it's not them, it'll be Kyle Busch and Truex. And all those other things will hopefully hit as well. But we shall see. Again, just so much up in the air for this final race. But I would just say buckle up and enjoy it, because the season after this, we got one more weekend. That's crazy. And then we have to wait all the way to February for the next time we get to see NASCAR again. So just enjoy it. That's all I'll say. But thanks for watching. As always, give us a like. Want to hear what you guys think, as always, in the comments, who you're betting on, who you're looking at to maybe pull that upset win. So thanks. Subscribe for more content.